Good morning, everybody. Got Andy Daster and Jacob Brown joining you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hopefully you can see behind me. Good morning. Hopefully everybody can hear us okay. Somebody give me a message that you can. Morning, Tim. Hey, Mary. I see Ken. I see Kayla. Thank you, guys. All right. Well, hopefully you guys can see that I'm here with Jacob Brown from USA Health Plans. A little bigger so you guys can see. We're not going to have any slides today. What we thought we would do is, instead of going through a product training or a platform training, I guess would probably be more appropriate. We thought Jacob and I would just have a little bit of a discussion and let everybody in on that discussion. Certainly answer any questions that you may have. As per usual, this call is being recorded, so that way if you miss anything or you want to go back to anything, you certainly can. And we'll take any questions that you have at the conclusion, just like we always do. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's make sure we got this thing recording. Yep, we do. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, Jacob, first of all, maybe you should introduce yourself first. I don't know, does everybody exactly know who you are and what you do?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
Talk about you a lot, and people are like, and one of the other things, if you could, I think some people think of USA Health Plans as a product and not a platform of products. So why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about USA Health Plans?
Sure.
How did it start? Like what? Little history.
Yeah, so USA Health Plans really, it did start as product, if you will. You know, we really started in the healthcare arena back in 2015 and started building a platform of different products and services that could be added around it. Because, you know, back then, you know, it was the ACA, or, you know, there was no short-term medical at the time. And so really that's where I started in the ACA alternative world, and have really built since then. And so a lot of times we get agents who know us from, you know, almost 10 years ago and think we're a single product organization or something like that. And we really have grown a lot since then to full major medical products, you know, limited medical products, group level funded, self-funded, all kinds of stuff. So really what we are is a true platform of different products in the ACA alternative space, and really single source that for everyone to make it really easy versus trying to do it on your own, or maybe not even ever getting access to a particular product. And
so I love where it fits, right? So we talked about this yesterday, where you got ACA for people who are sick and poor, right? If you're got a chronic condition or you're getting a subsidy, ACA is the place to go. All right. And then you've got sort of people with are more price sensitive but aren't subsidy eligible, and that might be where we put them into a short-term medical or an indemnity plan. But where USA Health Plans fits is for people looking for major medical, people looking for PPOs. So PPO, nationwide PPO is such a key.
Awesome word.
It's so key to what you're doing, right? Yeah. So ACA plans, love them, but pretty much HMOs nationwide. In my home state of Texas, there's not a single zip code, city, county, or geography in the entire state where you can buy a PPO.
Same here.
Same here. And that's the case with a lot of states. And there's exceptions, like if Chris Ricker should say, well, Wisconsin has PPOs. All right, well, there's
what Illinois does, but it's like you know, $1,200 a month for a 55-year-old.
So one of the key things is nationwide PPOs. First of all, tell us a little about the PPOs, number one, and number two, tell us some of the great brand name networks that agents are now able to access through your platform.
So key benefit of the major medical PPOs is, one, PPO, right? You know, being able to keep your same doctor, or it's not only keeping your same doctor on PPO, it's when you actually have to utilize medical care and you need to go see specialists. PPOs are key for specialists, because when you get into these HMO networks on, you know, marketplace, specialists can be pretty hard to come by because you're in this very rigid networks. And, you know, God forbid the person that's going to save your life is not the guy in network you can go see, right? So that's one key thing about PPO. The other thing that's really good about our model is uniformity. So we run our PPO plans in 39 states and DC, and it's uniform. It's the same benefit, it's the same network, it's the same everything, you know. So we run two different PPO plans. We're going to run through our Employer Business Association. We run that through the Cigna PPO network, which is, yeah, it's about as good as it gets. Yeah, it really is. It's very hard to find someone who's not in the network. You almost want to just tell your client your doctor is, but you can't until you look. We also utilize Gig Care, and that utilizes Blue Cross PPO network.
And while it may not be as robust as the Cigna, there's something about that Blue Cross.
It's the name.
It's just the name. You walk into the doctor's office. What network are you at? Blue Cross. Okay, it just.
It really is. Like you go to Texas and Blue Cross that's the brand, and you can come here and say, listen, Cigna's, seems to be a bigger brand because a lot of it's Anthem Blue Cross here, which is it doesn't carry the weight that Blue Cross of Texas does. So every market's a little different, but they're both great brands.
But one of the beautiful things about Gig Care and that Blue Cross PPO is you can actually come to Texas and compete directly against Blue Cross HMO ACA plans with a Blue Cross PPO plan, and you can't even get that Blue Cross PPO from Blue Cross itself.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out.
And there's so many states like that where you can offer a Blue Cross PPO and that company couldn't offer it themselves. They can't get it to work, even off the exchange. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great selling point. Really, I think it's one of the best door openers because there's not here to beat up the ACA. There's good things about it. There's bad things about it, right? Where it works, where it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's certainly one thing. Like the biggest loss anyone I think has taken under the ACA is access to network. Everyone was told they're going to keep their same doctor. Funny how that worked out, right? And so really, when you're going to get into households to be able to talk PPO and major medical, it's a really easy way in the door. And you may find out as you're working with the person that it's not a right fit for them. Maybe it's too expensive. And hey, I wish everybody could go into major medical. I wish everybody could go into PPO. But
everybody wants that, but not everybody's got the money.
Not everybody's got the money for it. And it's great that it's unlimited, but if you cannot afford unlimited, it's worthless. So that's where we have the rest of the platform for other products and services for those members when they can.
Another difference between an HMO and a PPO is that HMOs have prior authorization. That you have to first get authorization to go see the specialist, as an example.
Right.
And PPO plans don't require that. You can go see a specialist, and that's just that.
There's some pre-authorizations when you get into like a procedure, which is going to be standard with every carrier, but no, to go to specialists, to access mental health, all that stuff. I mean, you're not having to jump through hoops like you do on.
And I'll tell you, if anybody has been on an HMO or had a client on an HMO, that those prior authorizations are one of the ways that HMOs cut costs. It can't just be unlimited free everything. And so keep that in mind too. So you're not only getting these PPO networks that are killer, but on top of it, you're getting access to specialists that, first of all, will take your plan, and second of all, you can actually go see without an act of God. So let's continue in our discussion. Let's talk a little bit about price. Now, let's agree it's not for somebody who's looking for the cheapest. Comprehensive major medical never is. It's not subsidy eligible. Okay. It is ACA, a lookalike. It's an ACA alternative. In terms of deductibles, the co-insurances, and co-pays, is it kind of a lot like a doctor?
Yeah, pretty much. You can go down to $1,000 deductible, I think, and the top deductible is $7,350. All the max out of pockets cap out at $7,350. So that's all pretty straightforward. I mean, when you look at them, there's quite a few plans, but they're all going to work pretty much the same. It's just a matter of what type of exposure you want. But at the end of the day, that's the good thing about major medical is once you hit your max out of pocket, that's it.
I remember when major medicals were in their heyday, and I always used to think that they're very complicated because of deductibles, the co-insurances, max out of pockets, and yet for some reason, Americans have been so conditioned that is the simple, easy way to get their health care. Copay for small stuff, deductibles and co-insurances and a max. And that's really how Americans think about their healthcare. So any other way of doing it will have to take more explanation. It's not a bad thing, it just takes more explanation. And certainly there are times when you got to get more aggressive price-wise or health-wise, and some of those explanations are necessary. Let's
To that point, I will say that there are HSA eligible plans in there for the savvier individual, and not for everyone, because a lot of consumers are geared to they want the copay because, and I feel it is when you're paying so much money for something, you want to like see it work.
Absolutely.
You want to get some benefit out of it. Where when you're going to an HSA, you're paying all this money and you're still paying all this stuff out of pocket. Now, mathematically, it may make sense. I don't know. It depends on the scenario, but it takes more explaining. And
it certainly does. Personally, I don't hedge HSAs, but I get people who ask me, are there HSA versions? Yes, there is. Oh, and they'll tell you, oh, I had an HSA at work, and I really liked how it works. And I've got $40,000 that I've now saved up on a tax-favored basis, and I'd like to continue it in the individual market. Great. Perfect. You already understand how it works. You've already been doing it for years. Now you can just continue that same approach in the individual market. So I certainly agree. There's a role for that HSA too. And agents need to be aware when a customer is talking to you about their group plan was an HSA, don't make them bail out of it. A lot of times they like that. Let's change gears. So sometimes with these ACA alternatives, there are some quirky rules that you have to follow in order to have them. You got to be a member of this. You got to hop on one foot. You got to download a browser. You got to do all this stuff. Agents justifiably get concerned about having to explain all that. What about how does USA Health Plans look at that?
We need you just walk with 2 feet. There are some plans that are going to require someone to be truly self-employed. The America's Choice Plan, the gig care products. Someone does need to be self-employed. And again, define self-employed in the United States. If you're earning interest, it's 1099. There's so many ways if you're generating income anywhere. So although that's probably one of our quirkiest plans is to someone truly has to be self-employed to join. But at the end of the day, that's still a pretty big net. Now, the rest of our other plans, most of them are on an association chassis or some type of agreement like that, where you just need to become a member of the association and you're accessing the benefits that are available in the association. So much cleaner, no work they have to do. I prefer this model. No browser, but I prefer that model where we can. That's, I can't guarantee that's how all products will be delivered in the future, but that's where we're at now, which is great. And just so everyone knows that we're not doing anything, funky or weird there with an association or a limited partnership type of agreement. Those are just mechanisms to be able to access it, and that's just because of the framework of the ACA. If you don't have those mechanisms, you can't join a plan. They wouldn't be legal, and these are the legal ways to get through.
It's funny. I won't name names because I don't know if she's on this call, but I see agents will go out on Facebook and say, hey, what do you think of these ACA alternatives? And agents who obviously have no idea how the regulations work are like, association plans are this or that. And, I think if I were an agent, first of all, I wouldn't go on Facebook and ask other agents who don't know anything about what their opinions are on stuff. But, one of the things that I truly appreciate, Jacob, is the fact that you are constantly evaluating the regulatory environment, trying to stay one step ahead of it.
Yeah.
The truth is, there is not a single product in the under 65 individual market that doesn't have some regulatory potential risk. ACA, regulatory risk, the subsidies expire next year. Who knows what's going to happen? Short-term medical, that one, indemnity plans, Medicare, absolutely. In fact, we got the Medicare selling season coming up. I still don't know what the deal is yet. And there's still, back and forth as to what's going to happen there. So, for agents, my recommendation is don't worry about what other agents say. Let experts who are constantly monitoring the regulatory environment, trying to stay one step ahead. Those are the people who are looking at this every day and making sure that we're selling products that are in compliance with the regs.
In a lot of our products, they run through really good TPAs, that also have their own legal teams that scrub stuff.
We're looking out for stuff.
The paper on our plans, it's Nationwide's paper on some of them. There's big insurance companies behind it too, so they've also looked at things as well, and so
Yep, no, you got a lot. Agents should feel like this platform behind the scenes, there are a lot of experts who are waking up every day, constantly evaluating the regulatory environment, the compliance environment, making sure that everything we're doing is working. One of the other great things about the platform is the fact that it's a platform.
yeah.
It gives an agent a quoting and enrollment experience that is shopping cart-like. And of course, my favorite subject is stacking. And so not only can an agent sell a major medical plan on USA Health Plans, they can stack critical illness, accident, dental,
Vision,
what else?
disability, hospital indemnity.
Hospital indemnity. So,
and then more coming. I'm always, sourcing more products for you to be able to just check the box and throw it in the shopping cart. Yeah.
So if you're an agent, granted, you can do a patchwork and you can try to grab this guy's critical illness or that one's dental plan, and maybe this one's 10 cents cheaper, and that one's got $1 more benefit. But to be able to do it all in one fell swoop, and it's all enrolled at the same time, all together, billed all together?
It's all single bill. And that's the key when you're selling ancillary and you're stacking, is to single bill, because once it goes in the shopping cart and they get their monthly invoice, they look at that monthly payment as that's my health insurance.
That's health
And
insurance.
so when they're going through all these little dings every month in their checking account, they're trying to.
I don't need that $40 per guy thing.
Then they're calling you, what's that? What's this?
Yeah.
I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel that accident. No, it's all in one payment. I will tell you, we really had nobody call in to just cancel their ancillary. It's really all or nothing in our model. And so, our persistency is, pretty high on these products. And my best advice to you is to get the ancillary in the shopping cart at point of sale, because your ability to get it and add it later is going to be real difficult. If you get it today, it's in, and it won't come out. And it really adds up. It really adds up.
And yet you got these Zurich ancillary products that have really good benefits, really competitive rates, good comp. I mean, so it's not like you're stacking all this expensive stuff and the client goes from paying $1,000, now they're paying $2,000 because you stacked all this expensive stuff. They won't even notice it. But what you're really doing is you're doing a better job protecting your client.
A good example would be, we're talking about the major medical PPO plans on our platform, but our platform is also built to stack against the ACA. A great example is a bronze plan, right? You've got a $9,300 or whatever it is max out of pocket, or a $8,000 deductible. To me, it's really simple. Okay, you've got this bronze plan for say it's even subsidized. It's $0 a month. But if you get sick, you have an $8,000 deductible. And if you get in an accident, you have an $8,000 deductible.
Nobody has $8,000. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. Nobody has $8,000 laying around to pay a deductible.
I agree. Especially someone that's getting subsidized.
And they're getting subsidized. That's possible.
So then the question becomes, okay, do you want that bronze plan, or do you want a bronze plan where you only have an $8,000 deductible if you get sick? For $25 more, that $8,000 deductible is wiped out if you have anything accident related. Your kids playing sports in high school, or just who knows what they're doing, right? And to me, for 25 or 26 bucks, whatever it is, to completely shift that exposure, you run that math. I mean, how many years would it take you to pay $8,000? If you're paying 26 bucks a month, what's that, 20 years, 30 years? Are you going to get hurt in the next 30? It's such an easy sell to.
Nobody has $8,000. Yeah. Everybody has 25 bucks.
Everybody has 25 bucks.
Love it. And so an agent, whether they're stacking on an ACA plan or stacking it on to a EBA Cigna PPO plan, they still get those products on a single quoting and enrollment experience, shopping cart, click the box, enroll them in there, and they can have them all and still keep it really low. All right. We're running short on time, so we cannot skip the comp. I'm ready for this one. And then one last thing before everybody starts asking questions, we got to talk about group.
Okay.
Let's talk about comp.
Okay.
So street level commission on a typical whatever EBA, Cigna PPO, or America's Choice. What kind of money are we talking about?
Yeah, it's somewhere between 80 and 90 bucks, per
year.
Per month.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
So the EBA Cigna PPO, that's $80 a month level
I
compensation.
don't understand. ACA plans pay like 15, 20 bucks a month. How can this pay 80? It's like 4 to 5 times.
I don't know how, but we're involved and we're making it happen.
So I mean,
This is how it works outside the ACA. The ACA is so it's so limiting in terms of compensation. You know, if you're selling ACA, you have to be stacking. You have to be stacking, or how are you really going to get ahead? You know,
you better have 10,000 members to make any kind of money.
and not only are you making 4 times it, you know, that's $80 for an individual. You know, add a spouse, and it goes up to like 100 and something.
And that's not including ancillary.
No, and that's also ACH only. I mean, you're going to get paid like clockwork on the 21st of every month. We're not waiting for a subsidy to hit the carrier to get yours. You're not going to get random commissions. It's the 21st of every month you're going to get paid. And what I really like about this business is the fact that we are ACH. People's cards don't expire. Fraud doesn't happen. They don't lose their card. When we bill ACH, we get money every time. You either have the money or you're out of money.
Right.
If you have the money, we get the money.
Yeah. So the agent gets paid.
And the agent gets paid, yeah. So
I mean, that just blows me away. So, in some ways, agents have to kind of look at this like, do I want to spend my time focused on lower income sick people where I'm making 15 to 20 bucks and they're paying 10 bucks for their premiums on an ACA plan? Or do I want to focus on people who have money that want to buy comprehensive major medical, looking for PPOs, looking for major medical? That just seems to me like so much of a better market than just focusing on the poorest people.
I feel if you focus on age 40 plus self-employed, everything else falls into place. You'll find everyone through, if that's your primary target. I mean, obviously, and you don't turn down anybody, find, whatever type of client you can. But if your primary marketing is going to age 40 plus self-employed, that's the primary insurance buyer, because the 26-year-old isn't a lot of times, it's their parents still paying for it, right? And then the self-employed typically have more disposable income. They're typically going to be an individual insurance consumer because they don't have someone offering them benefits. And then, kind of segue into, the group space. That's how you're going to find people that have employees and need a group policy. So if you focus there, you'll naturally find other people that are lower income through them. But birds of a feather flock together, and self-employed people play off together.
That's why agents that focus on marketing specifically this market are much more successful. If you're talking to people about PPOs, if you're talking to them about comprehensive major medical, if you're talking to them about the kinds of plans that they have always been wanting and didn't think existed in their state, those are the agents that are succeeding. The one that just do this off the side of their desk, and I'm mostly doing ACA, and every once in a while I'll put one of these in, they're not going to get as good a result.
Your ACA folks are going to send you, similar people.
Send you similar people. Exactly right.
Yeah.
And
especially when you get the PPO message out to a self-employed community, that is gold, because
absolutely.
That's what they're
then your network because other agents aren't talking about PPOs. They're still talking about HMOs, like so many agents are. Now, in addition to making 4 times what an ACA would pay, you could also build a downline. But how do we get passive income from recruiting other agents? How does that work?
Let's refer agents into us. The way I built the platform is, I can go spend a bunch of money on marketing dollars and bring all these agents in, or we can just pay you to market for us. And so we allow every agent everyone gets a stock deal on our platform. So everyone gets the same producer comp, and everyone has the ability to earn overrides 3 levels deep of their hierarchy. So
what happens if I have a buddy of mine and I'm sharing with him this USA Health Plans platform? The guy goes, "Wow, that's great." Does that agent have to take a lower comp in order to go under?
They're going to get the exact same deal you got. So, for example, if you're selling the EBA with Cigna PPO, you're going to make $80. And let's say you found me, you refer me to USA Health Plans. I'm going to contract with USA Health Plans. I list you as my referring agent, and when I sell it, I get $80. But now you get an override. I get an $8 override. Member spouse maybe 10. It just goes up the ladder. And because the reason I do that is because I can find more agents efficiently by paying you to go market. And then
back to your referral contract.
And then
birds of a feather.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're all building an opportunity together. We're all rising the tide together. We're all making money together. It's more fun. So
I understand that. What's the downside to the agents? So if I'm referring agents, is there any downside to me, or am I getting overrides?
you're getting overrides.
Do I have
Anything that goes.
requirements?
No,
Do I have to have at least a minimum of 10 agents?
No. Don't care. One
agent, you're getting an override. Wow.
It's anything that goes into the shopping cart will generate a transaction for you.
And then what about the agent who got referred? What's their downside? Do they take a hit in comp? Can they also recruit, or do they lose that right because I recruited them?
Everybody's got the exact same deal. And that's why our model really is thriving, because we're allowing everybody the opportunity to build an agency with us. We're allowing, and we're getting away from the model where you came in under someone else.
Right, and everybody's pushing it.
And then all of a sudden you've got, these people that are really good producers, they're down there making half of someone who's not producing. It's like, oh, everybody gets the same.
Then somebody finds out, they're like, "Oh, pissed off.
I'm going to leave you and go over here because I can make $5."
Yeah.
No, everyone gets the same. This is what we're promoting USA Health Plans. We can promote with confidence that they're not coming to me and getting a better deal, and not coming to Andy to get a better deal, and it doesn't matter. Everyone gets the same deal, and we've had a lot of success with that, and I think that's really how we've built our organization since day one. And really what I would focus on is always be finding new clients, stuff like that, but always spend a little time bringing an agent on a month every 2 months, and just keep building that, because then they're going to do that same thing for you. And that's the thing that gets lost in the whole piece of this platform, is it's not just you bringing someone to our organization.
Right.
It's who you brought brings someone else. And not that this is some big multi-level deal, because it goes down 3 levels, but that creates passive income. And what I like about the platform most is that the income is diversified. We're all making income from multiple different product lines, multiple different parts of the industry, group,
come back to it in a second.
Individual, but also.
So it even works with groups. So if I refer that agent, I'm going to still get an override even on groups.
Yeah. And so then you got to think your income's coming in from multiple different groups, from multiple different agents, multiple different distribution channels, and then it's really good diversification of income, especially when you're building a passive income. And this industry
works so hard, right? There's so many hours in the day that you can be talking to consumers, and if you can have an additional incremental income just by referring somebody else, and showing them the ropes and sharing with them what you've learned.
Oh yeah,
man, that's sweet. All right, let's make sure we're finishing up here on time. Let's talk about group real quick. All right. We can take any questions that the audience may have. So on top of everything you just described, about half your sales are groups.
It's incrementally getting up to that point, yeah.
So talk about
64.
How does a group work in this platform when this is all about individual?
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I can say is don't look at this and say, well, I only do individual. I've never done groups. Too complicated. I can't do that, because we're making it really easy to do group. Here's a great example. The individual PPO product you're selling, it's the exact same in group. There's no difference. The only difference is the rate's going to be a little bit different in group because there's more purchasing power, right? You got 10 employees, you got 20 employees, rates are going to be lower. Other than that, it's exact same plan, exact same benefits. And
what about comp? How does that work?
Comp on under 10 is going to under 10 employees is going to match. Yeah, when we get to over 10 employees, comp will go down from 80 ahead. So I think it's like 50 or 55. I have to look.
That's common in the group world.
You have to. You've got to get to a more competitive rate. Otherwise, I'd love to pay everybody 80, on an employee only, but then you may not be getting the deal, right? We got to make sure, because we're cutting our admin fees, the underwriters are cutting their fees. We're, just to make sure we can place.
And then on top of it, you've got multiple potential reinsurers and different TPAs that could bid on it. So instead of an agent having to go send it to 10 different places to try to find the best deal, you're actually doing that for them. You're finding the group and the agent the best possible deal.
Yeah, you really want to look at our platform as an extension of your business, because it doesn't make sense for you to be out spending all this time doing this tedious administrative work, which bogs you down. I mean, you need to be out in the field prospecting, be in the relationship and managing that. And if you can always think all you've got to do is, communicate to the business owners, get the information, bring it into us, and we're doing the heavy lifting on the back of, we're going to take the data and we're going to send it out to 3 or 4 different underwriters. We're going to, source the best, return we can get and say, that's the deal. That's what we got. And so while we're doing all that, you can go find another deal. We're trying to piece all this together, and that's what we're for. We're built for it. So when we work together like that, we can all write more business. We can make more money, and yeah.
So. I love the group piece of it. I think see if there's any questions that we have. Don't see any so far. The group piece of it. Looks like we're running out of time. The group piece of it though is literally just why do onesie twosies when you can do 5 and 10, 15, 20 at a time?
And somebody else pays for it. Yeah. When you're selling an individual, that individual's paying for it.
Money.
You go sell it to 15 people and somebody else bought it for them. I mean, that's kind of a nice deal.
Like it. Yeah.
But in the group space too, one spot that we're making it really easy is once we get to 10 employees, we can do what's called census-based underwriting. So, sometimes we get a little pushback from this because we're asking for the employee's name, their date of birth, their address, and their gender. And we need that for their dependents. And sometimes we get agents that they don't want to give all that information, or maybe even the employer doesn't. But once we hit 10 employees, we're not in the business of producing quotes. We're in the business of producing binding, final, underwritten rates. You get us a census with the information I just listed, and we'll produce a binding underwritten rate. So you can take the census and go back and say,
that's the deal.
That's the deal. Yes or no. Instead of
not apply, and then maybe the rates are different. You gotta go back and sell. Sorry.
And come back and
got somebody with health issues, so now more rates are gonna go up.
Yeah. And then these other people back out, and then it creates this domino effect, and the whole deal never gets closed. Yeah. So that's how we work over 10. Under 10 employees, we are still medical apps, but over 10, it's.
And all they got to do is send a census to support it.
Support it, USAHealthPlans.com.
USAHealthPlans.com, and everything. You take care of the rest.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, I hope you found this helpful and informative. That was a great conversation. Yeah, it was fun. It's also a good way for us to practice our messaging. This call is being recorded, so if you missed anything, we'll have it posted out on our YouTube channel here in the next day or two. Thanks so much for joining. That's the conclusion of our talk today. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.